Hello, this is Satya, and welcome to the first session of business analytics using R. Uh, I think I can see Pranav and I can see Adivya. Uh, so, welcome Pranav and Adivya. Pranav, I'll begin with Pranav. Pranav, can you just give me some introduction about yourself and what is your expectation from the course so that we'll try our best to meet your expectation? Can we begin with Pranav, please? Adivya, can we begin?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to learn business analytics, and I just checked on the scope of it with my friends.
Okay.
So they suggested it's the best course to learn, and it has got a great future, and it
Okay.
would help me in on a larger perspective.
Okay. No, in fact, it is. But what is your background? Like, do you have any working experience or you are fresher?
Yeah, I have like 4 years of work experience. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 4 years of work experience, and right now I'm working with Athena Healthcare as
Okay.
a as a EDI analyst.
Okay.
So also even in healthcare, learning analytics would really help me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So, any, do you have any background in programming or anything? Like,
No, I do not have any background in programming, but I did my engineering in IT.
okay.
But I'm really bad at programming. I'm not that good. So I also like
No
wanted to,
problem. Sure.
yeah,
We'll learn through the course. Don't worry about it. Okay. Can we
yeah.
uh, can we learn little about Pranav also? Pranav, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Pranav.
Yeah, good evening. So I'm Pranav here, and I'm actually working in a bank, HDFC
Uh,
Bank.
Okay.
So I belong to a engineering background itself. So I actually I don't have any knowledge about this business analytics, but I have just recently started studying what are the basics of business analytics. So my expectation is starting from basics only. I want to learn everything, and my actually I just want to shift my career. I can move into, I can remain in the banking sector working as a business analyst, or I can switch to IT companies and I will start working there.
Okay. So Pranav, how many years of experience you have
I
in
have
total?
total of 3 years of experience.
And which area it is? Like,
Excuse me.
what is your forte? Like, what area you are working on currently?
Okay, actually, so I'm in retail banking. So I have a lot of database. I have a lot of customer. Actually, uh, I am not in a backend team. So I usually people.
But
Excuse me.
you have been seeing data, right? That's your main forte. So you have been seeing data as a part of the retail banking, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, that is nice. Okay, we have one more member with us also. Ken Elementary. So can we get some introduction from you as well?
Hello, hi. I just joined in. Actually, my name is Jitendra. It's showing my computer name elementary. So
No
sorry
problem.
for that. Okay. Hello. Can you
Yeah.
hear me properly? Please.
No, there is
Just
a lot of noise as well as your voice. But yeah, you can
a
give
minute.
an introduction.
Yes. Hello. My name is Jitendra. I'm currently working in Accenture as a software engineer.
Okay.
I work on several CRM applications. When I heard about this business analytics course, I thought this is something I would like. So I like
Okay.
crunching numbers, and I find it very interesting
Okay.
since I'm from an engineering background.
Okay.
So I like it more than coding.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm keeping everybody on mute. We'll begin now. So today's session will be basically a elementary session, like what is data business analytics, what is big data, what is the real term that we say data scientist. What do we mean by data scientist? What are the characteristics of a person which can make him or her a data scientist, right? And what is the area that you should be looking at when you say that you want to learn business analytics, right? So before I begin, let's talk about a card click. So this is a e-learning portal for you. It's a company's one second. It's a company whose CEO is Vinod Dham, and if you know Vinod Dham, he's solely working. It's Intel. He plays a major role in Pentium processors development, and in fact, he's called father of Pentium. So if you are not aware of him, in any leisure time, you can just go ahead and you can do a Google of him. So the basic idea is to um, teach candidates who are interested in switching careers or building careers in very hot market trends, right? Like web developments, like Android developments, or in big data technologies, or analytics space, right? Analytics space like business analyst or business analytical person, or a pure data scientist. So all those kind of courses are being given in Acadgild, and not only we provide course, we also encourage every participants to do some self-reading, also do some practice, take some assignment, and do it. We also correct source assignment. We also conduct some projects in between the courses and at the end of the courses, and we also provide certificates, right? So basically our target is to make each and every candidate market ready so that they can start hunting for jobs in the particular area where they have been trained, right? Or they can switch their technology also, right? So this has been started by IIT, prestigious IITs, and I am alumni. And no, so the base branch in India is in Bangalore, right? So let's talk about business analytics. What is business analytics? Okay, so before I talk about business analytics, we'll just look at people are talking about big data, right? So we will try to get a feel of why we need big data. At what situation we would say that you would need big data environment or big data ecosystem, right? A big data technology in your company. Then we'll follow by business analytics. We'll try to understand what is business analytics, what are the importance of it, what kind of analytics, like what are the different kind of analytics that is possible in the area of business analytics. We'll go through some examples. Then we'll try to compare statistics versus business analytics or data analytics, but they are very integral part of business analytics. Okay, so I'll tell you what are the essential part of business analytics during the course. Then we'll see what are the basic steps, and we'll also see what are the current market trends, right? Which are the big companies, very famous companies who are actually adopting business analytics and also adopting R for using or for implementing analytics. Okay. Then we'll also look at what are the characteristics of a data scientist, and yeah, and that's it for today. So let's begin. Okay, so big data, right? When I say big data, we know data, right? Data information everywhere. You have your mobile smartphone. You go ahead, you post something on the Facebook, you post a comment on the Twitter, or you watch some videos, right? So all the actions that you are doing in this current world, everything is converted into data, right? So now when I say big data, it's huge volume of data. Let's not just talk about gigabyte or terabyte. It's even a trillion of gigabytes, right? Which we called zettabytes. So there are huge number of data, right? So the volume of the data is a key factor in determining whether you need big data environment in a company or right not. Let's say you will say, okay, I have 100 terabyte of data in my company. Do you need a big data ecosystem? You don't need, right? 100 terabytes of data today. I mean, any uh, large process, I mean, large system can accommodate 100 terabytes of data, right? You just need some multiple hard disks that will be sufficient. But when we talk about, like, there has been some survey where it has been projected that by when we reach to the era of 2020, we'll have uh, we'll have more than 40 zettabytes. Like, zettabytes is like um, 1 trillion gigabyte is 1 zettabyte, roughly, I would say. Okay, so like 40 trillion gigabyte data will be there. Hello.
Hello.
Hey Anand, I'm just keeping you on mute. We have already begun the session. Okay, if you have any question, you can ask me by unmuting yourself. Okay, everybody, I have kept everybody on mute. If you have any question, you can just ask me by unmuting yourself. Okay, and feel free to ask questions. Okay, so that's the volume is very important, right? So 40 zettabytes of data is not very small, right? So that means it's a clear indication that we need big components. Let's say we need big components, and whether that big component is one system or it's a big component is huge number of cheap systems, like very cheap systems. That's a matter of decision that we need to take, right? So volume plays a very important role. And now let's look at what's the second component of it. So if I tell you, okay, by 2020 I'll be reaching 40 zettabyte of data, but after 2020, every year onwards, you just need to add 100 terabyte of data into it. Or let's say, for a simplicity, let's say um, only one terabyte of data will be added every year onwards. So like 40 zettabytes I have in 2020, and 1 terabyte of data will be added each and every year consecutively. So in that case, do you need a big data system? Because big data component or big data environment is not just about um, storing data, right? It is also about seeing at what rate the data is coming, right? So if I can manage a hard disk, let's say if I can manage a space of let's say 50 zettabytes, okay, so 50 zettabytes. So additionally, I'm having 10 zettabytes of space, right? So now, if only one terabyte of data is coming, so to fill up my rest of the space, it would take 1 million years, right? Approximately 1 million years. So I should be, I can sit calmly and just use that system, right? But then I don't need a big data ecosystem. So it is also important at what rate the data is coming. Okay. So like look at the particular example like Facebook these days, in one day, right? Facebook uses like Facebook generates lots and lots of data. So if you just manage a space, and you cannot see it ideal, right? Because the volume at which this data is coming in to each of the company or each of the data storage space, so that is also huge, right? So the velocity of the data that is coming in, the fresh data every day, every month, or every year, or even every second that is coming in is also important, right? So that's the key factor to decide whether you need a big data ecosystem in your environment or not. Then there are a couple of more, apart from volume and velocity, there are a couple of more important factor, that is variety. What is the variety of the data sources? Because the variety can be many, right? Uh, you can have you can have financial data. Financial data can be in documents, can be in Excel, and all those things. For in another way, when you look at data for company called YouTube, right? The YouTube, the video is not a data. Okay, the video is not a data because YouTube never uploads video. It is us, the user, who uploads the video. So it's about what are my customers watching every day. They log into video. What are the video they watch? How much time they watch? Like whether they like the video, do they watch it fully or not? Do they stop? Do they click on their advertisements or not? So those are different kinds of data that is coming, right? So there will be something called quasi structured. So those are called quasi structured data. Okay. And there will be lots of data which are Excel reports and all that are purely structured. Somebody writing a comment about some politician or some cricketer in the Facebook. Okay, so that is a unstructured data, right? So there are different variety of data, and from different sources the data will be coming. So when the variety is large, that also is a key indicator that you should be using big data ecosystem. Now the fourth component that is important is veracity. Veracity means uncertainty in the data. Why you need uncertainty is, see, if uh, if the information that you will be getting from the data is very easy, let's say Nike is a shoe. Nike is a Nike shoes. So let's talk about Nike shoe. Okay, Nike has introduced a new product, new shoe, sports shoe, tennis shoe, and it if it knows that everybody will like its shoes, colors, and everything that it is making, right? There is no need of actually having looking at the feedback and doing anything, or there is no need, or even there is no scope of improving the product, right? Because it has launched a product which is 100% accurate, right? So ideally that is not possible for any company, right? So many people will like the color, many people may like little bit tweak in the size fitting, right? Or many people will like the weight of the shoe. Somebody may not like the weight of the shoes, right? So the opinion may differ, right? The outcome of people reaction to each of the data would be different, right? Different based on their profile. So there will be a lot of uncertainty in the data. So that's why we say veracity, right? So if at any point of time in your career, if you see this volume, velocity, variety, veracity, if all the components are there, okay, in a particular domain, then it is a clear indication that you will need big data ecosystem in your company, right? So that's all about a little bit about big data, right? So just we wanted to give you an introduction what's big data is all about. Now let's move to what is a who is a business analyst, okay? And we know that a business analyst is a person who will be doing business analytics. Yeah. So let's talk about what is business analytics. So business analytics. So as a business analyst, right? So the course is all about business analyst. So let's talk about business analyst. So it's like you will be given data. Let's say let's talk about the same data. The let's say talk about the Nike shoes being uh, manufactured. So one new product has been launched, Nike shoes, and you have all the sales data passed every week sales data from different areas, like from different zones, from US, from UK, from India, from different zones, and you have um, uh, the list of who are the people who have purchased the shoes, like let's assume that you have the data, and what the gender of the people who are purchasing those shoes, um, what are the ages of the people who, right? So based on everything and how much sale has been happening in each and every zone, based on everything, you'll go and look at the past data and you'll do some analysis, right? So that's it. That's the first thing as a business analyst you will be doing on the data. Look into the past and do some analysis. Which quarter, whether your sales is increasing quarter per quarter or not, or the sale is remaining flat, or you may say, okay, the people who are of young generation, like 18 to 25, or let's say 15 to 25, are liking my shoes, or they are the highest percentage of people who are buying this particular product, let's say. So that are the kind of analysis you may do by looking at the past. But that should be another aspects of a business analyst. That is, you also look into the future and try to, whatever you have learned from the past, try to foresee what the business will do in the coming quarters. So can you go ahead and do some prediction, like what will be my sales in the next 4 quarters now onwards, right? If this is the trend that continues. Um, so that is all about business analytics, okay? And that's the role of a business analyst. So as a part, so how do you achieve this? So you will be using different things, like you'll be using some data mining model, some statistical model. You'll be doing some quantitative aptitude, like just do some uh, you can do some reporting kind of thing. You can draw some charts. You can look into you can slice the data, look into different aspects of it. You can do some evidence-based management also, like there should be some external factor, right, which can also drive the sales, right? So based on those external factor, you should be able to also judge whether some external factor um, will drive my sales or not, right? So all these aspects are key to business analytics. So hello, can you guys hear me now? Yep. Okay. Um, can everybody tell me, did I cover this and you guys were able to hear this about business analytics, mainly like what are the keys role? Okay. Okay. So we were talking about. So the next slide was about what are the key areas where you can actually apply business analytics or this practice, more or less. So the good news is each and every area, okay, wherever you see there is data, you can actually go ahead and apply business analytics. Okay, uh, that will actually help you in growing your business of the company, right? So, and even the better news is, okay, okay. So even the better news is anybody who is already working, okay, anybody who is already working and hello, Jitendra, you need to say something.
Hello?
Yeah, Jitendra.
Yes, sorry, my microphone is disconnected. Go ahead, thank you.
Okay. Okay. So the good news, what I wanted to pass it to you guys is, if you're already working and if you are already in a company who is generating data, who owns some data, and even if you are not into data analytics, you have right opportunities to switch your career within the company, or you can start practicing within your team itself. Once you have this course, you can start applying whatever you have learned within the company itself. So that's the basic thing you can do, at least. Apart from, definitely apart from this, you can think for career switch, or anybody who is fresher can think of getting a job as a freshers also. Okay. So, for example, look at marketing, right? Email marketing, promotions. So, like email marketing. When I say email marketing, who are the persons should I send some email? Let's say, who are the persons should I send some email to do marketing? Let's say Amazon. Amazon would eventually want, okay, I have millions of customers. Whom should I send some emails? Who will be interested in buying some product from me? That is a part of the recommendation engine, right? So whoever has purchased some product and likely to, let's say whoever has purchased some shoes, okay, let's say somebody has purchased some shoes which is a Nike shoe, and a Nike shoe, and it is a tennis shoe, let's say, same example. And more or less in the past, Amazon has seen whoever purchased a tennis shoe is also likely to buy a tennis racket. Okay. And so whoever has not purchased a tennis racket but have purchased the shoe, we can definitely send them some email saying that, okay, hey, there is some new product launch in the tennis racket. Would you be interested in having a look at it? We can provide some discounts also because you are a esteemed customer to the Amazon, right? So those kind of emails can also be sent to those customers. Promotions, promotion, same as like, same example, like, okay, apart from tennis shoe, tennis racket, what else I can promote to this guy? It can happen that even a totally different product may come out, not even related to shoe, but something related to, uh, let's say, mm, headphone. Maybe a headphone can come out, because there might be a chance that people who are play tennis, they are also used to listen music in between, or they may use a headphone also, for example, right? So in the past data of for Amazon, so in that case, Amazon may find out, okay, hey, people who are interested in buying tennis products are also interested in buying a headphone. That's a new thing, right? So that kind of promotion can also happen for healthcare. Okay, I'll give an example. um, a company can actually, let's say somebody who is a diabetic. Okay, somebody who is diabetic, what are the other diseases the person is likely to have? Okay, somebody who is diabetic and he is a male, there might be different kind of disease he may likely to have, whereas somebody is diabetic who is a female, might have different kind of disease she can have in the current future, right? So the healthcare, right? In the healthcare, we can actually predict what are the different diseases that can co-occur together, right? What are the different diseases that can happen after some time? If this is a particular patient condition, right? Because the patient may have some periodic checks and everything, right? Whenever he or she comes to the hospital, they will have their records. Even the insurance company can also take the data, and they can create a nice the insurance package, and they can try to attract customer. You have we have seen people who are diabetic are also having this, and as a, let's say, as a insurance company, we are always supportive to our customers, and we provide this kind of package which is helpful for you. Okay, so that is different way that actually business can pitch in and create profits out of it. Okay, similarly, there will be a lot of stuff like pricing index. What should be my current price of a new product that I might be launching? Because as a company, if let's say Micromix is a company who is launching a product, okay, the Micromix is not a company who is just launching a mobile. There may be many budget mobiles into the market, right? So what should be the correct price of the new model that Micromix should be launching? So that is also a part of business analytics. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the key like what is being driven by business analytics? Like, why should I use business analytics? Okay, I know what are the process and all, but how is it benefit to the my business? Obviously, it is profitable, but let's look at a couple of things. Mm. The first thing is like it will enhance your understanding about the data, right? The first thing that it will help you as a user or a data analytics guy, it will help you to understand the data better. Second thing is, if the employees if the employees of a company, right, start understanding the data better, they'll remain competitive, right? They'll remain competitive in the business. They'll know how the business is driven, right? What are the factors being driven is driving their business, and if that is the case, then it will make profit for the business. And if it is profitable for the business, obviously revenue is also integrated to the profit, right? So there is no question about it. So this revenue also come. If the revenue is also coming, so you're performing good, so your sentiment will increase in the stock market, and the shareholder will eventually earn a lot from the company, right? So the data analytics or or let's say business analytics, he helps you in different way, right? It not just help you as a person who is practicing data analytics by understanding the data more. It also helps company. It also helps company to grow. It also helps company to remain competitive, right? When I say competitive, to all the company who practices business analytics, or it may keep you ahead of the companies who are not practicing, right? And it will help the company to make more profit, and eventually it will also help the shareholders by earning more, and it will increase the sentiment of the company in the market, right? So that's many way it's going to help you in the business. So okay, so we talked about what is analytics, what is the importance of analytics. Let's talk about what are the different kind of analytics. Okay, what are the different kinds of analytics that you may see in your uh, whole career? Okay, so the different kind of analytics are three types mainly. One is descriptive. The first one is descriptive analytics. The second one is predictive. Third one is prescriptive. Okay, let's talk about descriptive. Descriptive is, let's say you have given the data. Somebody has given the data to you. Okay, you are a guy who will be sitting here, and first you will be analyzing the data, right? So what you will do is, first you will say, okay, what are the data? Okay, you may say, let's say there is sales data. Let's say the data is sales data. Okay, the final figure. Okay, the data is sales data. So obviously the outcomes would be sales. So the thing that you are interested in is sales figures, right? So first you will may say that, okay, this is a quarterly sales data. Okay, you have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, right? We have 4 quarters each year. So like you have 2015 quarter data, you have 2014 quarter data. Like this, you will have data, right? And you will have sales data. You will have how many products have been sold. Okay, how many products have been sold, product numbers, how many product counts, how many different products, how many categories has been introduced by the company in that quarter. Okay, new product launch, how many new product launch, and lots of stuff, right? So in each of the data in the past, you may also likely to see, okay, in which quarter, what is the average number of product being sold per each quarter, what is the highest number of products sold, and what is the quarter, and right. And you may also wanted to see, okay, there might be a quarter where the product sold was very very high, or the product sold was very very less, but that might just be an outlier, that might just be by chance it has happened due to some external factor. So you may be interested in figuring out those quarters, right? Because those quarters will not be actually helpful. Let's say in the Q1 quarter you have sold, let's say, 1 million. Okay, 1 million product in the Q1 quarter of 2015. Okay, um, and in the Q2, Q3, Q4, the product sale lies between 25, let's say 20K, 21K, or let's say 25K. Okay, so what is happening is, there might be a reason for it. The 1 million is just because it was a launch, and because of the hype of the product was sold in a very high frequency, right? Whereas it came and it got settled down in the later part of the year, right? So 1 million, when you will have some statistical analysis on it, right, you can easily find that 1 million is actually an outlier, and you should not be using this to analyze the whole data and figuring out what is the key important factor which drives sales, whether the number of products drive my sales, or it's the new how many new product launch I'm doing drives the sales, or how many employees working in my company is driving my sales, what is it that is driving my sales. So in that particular thing, the Q1 will definitely not help you in figuring out what is the key attributes which is driving sales. Okay, so these are all part of descriptive analytics. Okay, so what is outlier, what is the range of the data, okay, what is my 58th percentile, what is my mean, what is my mode of the data, what is the distribution of the data, also is a part of descriptive analytics. It's all about reading the data and understanding the data. Okay, so that's a part is descriptive analytics. Now predictive analytics, let's look at what is predictive analytics. In predictive analytics, as I said, this is your sales, right? This is your sales. And let's say this is your number of product. Number of new product launch. Employees working. Employees, how many employees are there? And this is all yours. Each and everything will be a year and a quarter, right? Which year and which quarter data is there. And looking at, okay, if I ask you, can you design a model where looking at the number of product, number of new product launch, and number of employees in that quarter, can you predict my sale? Can you predict my sale? Okay, if you can get a model which can do that, then it is easy for me, right? Because it is very easy for me to know how many products is being will be actually I'll be selling, how many different kind of products I'll be selling in the next quarter. That's very easy for me as a company to know. And how many new products I'm gonna launch in the next quarter. Let's say this is my new quarter. Let's say this is my Q1 of 2016. Let's say Q1 is January to March of 2016. I know that how many products I'm going to sell, different kind of products, how many new products I'm going to launch, and how many employees are working in my company. So I know all this, right? But only thing I need is give me a model looking at the past. Okay, looking at the past, give me a model which can predict sales by looking at number of products, number of new products, number of employees working. So if I give you a model M, let's say M is a model. Okay, let's not talk about what is inside that model. Let's just say I have given you a magic box, okay, and I call it M. That magic box M, look, taking these three things can tell you what is the sale. If it can tells me the sales figure, then it is good for me, right? So I can I know what is my sales is going to be looking at my internal facts. So if and I know that whether whether it is meeting my target or not, because I have some estimates, right? I have some expectation. Okay, let's say this year the sales was 23 million, and the next quarter I would want it to go to 28 million at least. But looking at the these three internal facts, the magic box says, okay, your sales will be 24 millions only. Let's say 25 million USD dollar only. So that model helps you, right? So whether your target is being met or not, right? So that this is a model, we call it a predictive model. This M is nothing but predictive model. Okay, predictive model is to predict something in the future, or looking at some input data, like input like number of product, number of new product launch, number of employees working. These are all input data. Looking at the input data, if you can predict the output, that's called predictive analytics. Okay, it can be in the future or it can be in the same present also. But looking at the input without looking at the output, can you tell me what is the output? Okay, so that is all about predictive analytics. Now, what is prescriptive? Prescriptive is actually the third part of the analytics process, and prescriptive analytics will not gonna work if you do not do descriptive analytics and predictive analytics. You have to do these two. Okay, first you have to do and you have to go and get your hand dirty on the data, try to describe the data, try to understand the data. That's our descriptive analytics. Then you go ahead and build some model, predict your sales, right? Now what prescriptive analytics will gonna do is, for example, let's say I say, okay, if you increase your new number of new launches, okay, it's a new product launch. This NP is new product launch. Okay, if you increase your number of new product launch from 3 products to 5 new products, you are trying to launch only 3 products in the next quarter. But if my model can tell you, okay, if you're gonna increase your launch from 3 to new 5 products, maybe you're planning to launch some product in the coming quarters, not in the next quarter, but in some later coming quarters. But if you can increase your launch to 5 number of products, then probably you can meet your target. $28 million sales is achievable if you increase your number of products from 3 to 5. Okay, new products. So that is also this particular analysis is also a strength of this model, that M that we're talking about. But thing is, a predictive model is just gonna tell you how much will be the sales, right? But there will be some internal analysis on the model which can tell you this fact as well. Okay, that model can also tell you this fact as well if you try to deep dive and look into the model. And looking at this fact, what prescriptive analysis does is it looks at this kind of facts and it tells the business, okay, although $24 million is the projection for the next quarter, but if you want to meet $28 million sales, probably you should see increasing your new product launch from 3 to 5. So that's a optimization technique, or that's a suggestion that the prescriptive analytics can give to the business. Okay, I'm not trying to give you a here. I'm just trying to tell you a story. Okay, I'm not trying to give you totally predictive. Like I'm not trying to tell you, okay, this can be done by logistic regression or this can be done by any model. Not okay. I'm just giving just a story how it actually works. Okay, guys, please ask me questions if you have some problem, or if I am fast, please tell me. We can slow down, or if I am slow, you can tell me that all as well. Okay, now let's go and look at the next slide. Okay, so we understood what are the different kind of analytics, and the main thing is it is not that one business analytics guy will only do descriptive analytics, somebody will do predictive, somebody will do prescriptive. It is not going to work like that. As an analyst or analytical guy, you have to conduct these three. Actually, these are more than types, these are steps. Okay, you have to conduct descriptive, then predictive, then prescriptive, and if you practice this, then only it will make the business successful. Okay, and you can drive the business using your expertise. Okay, so similar, one more example, a retail store usually run the clearance sale. Okay, in the past also it is being conducting clearance sales, let's say at the end of the December, and it reduces the prices so that it can finish all the inventories, all finish all the stocks. So now the question is, when should I start my clearance sale, and how should I price? Okay, if that's the two question to me, as a data analytical guy, what I'll do is I'm going to look at the past sales figure, like in the past 5 years or so. I'm going to look at, okay, when all the time I have actually run some clearance sale in the past. Okay, and what are the times? Is there any festival during that, or how many units were sold? What are the price that I have set for each and every product? Okay, so that kind of analytics you can do is a part of descriptive. Okay, now in the predictive part, you can say that, okay, if my price was X dollar, let's say if my price of the shoe was, let's say, 1200 rupees for it, like instead of 2600 rupees, if the price of the shoe was 1200 rupees, how many products I was able to sell in the last year, or in the last 5 years? If the product was 1300 rupees, sometimes it might do 1300 also, how many products I was able to sell? So in that way, it will also answer you. If I quote my product, which is 2600 rupees, if I quote my product is 1150 this time, can I increase my sales, or will I be able to get little more sales? Right. So that is the kind of analysis that you can do as a part of predictive. Now, after you do all this, prescriptive analysis will tell you what is the right uh, price you should be setting by doing some optimization. Okay, probably, see, it's not about just selling products, right? If you sell it at 50 rupees, everyone's gonna run to your shop and buy, but that's not gonna give you profit, right? So sales and profit also are two key things, right? So if you decrease the price, your sales may increase, but your profit may go down, or you may go on a loss also. Or it may happen that if you just make little profit, you may make more sales, you may generate more sales, or whether you should increase the price little high, slightly higher, so that your sales may go down, but the ultimate the final profit will be even the same, or even a little better than what you got for the less price quotation, right? So that's the optimization the prescriptive analytics part can do, and can tell you what is the best price for the shoe. Okay, so this is one another example of analytics. And now, so basically, what is data analytics and statistical analysis? But before I begin this, let me clarify one thing. What do you actually need? What are the key factors that you would need as a part of a data analytics? Let's say you are the guy, okay, business analytics, okay. Let's say business analytics, or let's say data scientist. DS is for data scientist and BA is for business analytics guy. Okay. Just assume that they are same. Okay. Right now, just assume that these are the guy who does great analytical jobs. Okay. Now, now there are many things that you know. You should be good at extracting data. Extract data. Like you can use queries, right? You can use SQLs. You can use some parsing. You can use some scrapping. We do scrapping to get some data from the web also, right? So you should be good at all these things. Second thing is you should be good at statistics. Very basic thing. Statistics. Okay. Third thing is machine learning. If you heard of machine learning or data mining, this is the part I'm talking about. Machine learning. Fourth thing is reporting. Okay, reporting is also a key important role, because whatever analysis you do, if you cannot represent your output in a clear cut format to the business guys, or a nice picture manner, or building some nice graphs, something that is visibly appealing to the business executive, they're never going to look at your results, right? Because there will be many who will be in the race to get first, right? So reporting is one another key aspects of it, or you can say some kind of visualization, right? We can say some kind of visualization, just some kind of visualization. Third thing is, like the final thing is domain. This is the fifth thing, domain knowledge. Okay, what domain knowledge? If you are working on a data which is retail banking, you should be aware how retail banking works, right? If you are working on healthcare data, you should be knowing how healthcare business works, right? And what are the data? What does they mean about each of at every attribute? What is the meaning of it? Like how does in a retail store, how does sales get driven by, right? Whether it's just the number of people coming, or at what time the sale is being happen, every key aspects of it, right? So you need to know how the business work in whichever domain you are working, right? That's the main important thing. Now if I put your course as a business analytics, right, our course is all about business analytics. Okay, let me use some another color for you guys. So our course is all about business analytics, right? So what are the components that we will be covering is, we'll be covering statistics, we'll be covering statistics, we'll be covering domain knowledge. So whenever we're going to do some projects, right, I'll give you some data sets to work on, or do some modeling, definitely we're gonna try to understand what the data domain is all about, how the data, what's the meaning of all the data, how it works, what is the internal behavior of the data, everything, right? So and so this is the two things that we're gonna learn, right? We'll also learn little bit about regressions technique. Regressions, right? Linear regression, linear, logistic, non-linear regression, everything about regression. Okay, these days people says regression is also part of machine learning, but truly speaking, regression has is originated from statistics. Regression has been originated from statistics. So even if people say it's machine learning, okay, that part of the machine learning or the original original it came from statistics. That is gonna you're gonna learn that part is a key thing out of for the business analytics. Okay, so the course will be ending at things like this by what is the meaning of logistic regression, how does it happen, whether like how can you optimize a logistic regression model, how do you fit linear regression, where you should fit, what are the attributes that you can take, what all attributes should you gonna take, every each and every attribute to predict something, or you should be selective about attributes, everything. Okay, that will be covering. Yes, and machine learning here is the next step of this course. Okay, after the course is done, so this course is all about uh, okay, before I jump into machine learning, let's bring another component to it. I just forgot what another key component is: soft skill. Obviously, right? You need to have a soft skill. Soft skill. When I say soft skill, something that you can code, some technique or some language or something where you can code your idea, right? You can just represent your idea. I'll not say it's programming or something. Let's not try to get people scared here. Just something where you can just code. So R is one of the easiest language where you can code. R is just you just don't need to worry about oops concept or anything or functional architecture, anything. R is simple script. If you want very hi-fi programming, you can also do that in R. But if you are a novice to programming, you can write some simple scripts, and that will enable you to run everything that you is in your mind. Okay, so in the as a part of the course, yes, apart from regression and all models, you'll also be learning R and into detail how to execute even a simple statement in R, how do you gonna use some very good packages in the internet, or what are the how can you do some graphics using like graphics for the business analytics course only. Design some new nice plots and everything in R. Or is there any for example, is there any way you can self learn also? Is there any for interesting thing, is there any way in R that it will make you self learn R apart from whatever I'll be teaching as a part of this course? Is there any way you can practice the R? That is also going to tell you. Okay, how you're going to do now. Extract data, so SQL and everything, but that is not the part of this course. Okay, that is not the part of this course. So as on when you will gonna learn, right? If you because as a data analytics guy, you may not need to write queries and all. There will be somebody in a DBA side, in a database role, who will be writing this query. But if you also need to do it, eventually it will you will learn, right? And that's not actually an essential part of this course. But keep this in your mind. You somewhere down the line you may need to learn a little bit of SQL, little bit of parsing the data, a little bit of web scraping. If you are working on the web data, by the way, if you are not working on the web data, you don't need scrapping. Okay. So now the main thing I'm leaving here is machine learning. Okay, machine learning. Now let me color that in different color. Now what is machine learning? Why we are skipping it? We are not skipping machine learning. This course, in this course, the machine learning is not part of this course. It's the next level of this course. Okay. So as I said, logistic regression, linear regression are also being called as a part of the machine learning. Similarly, there are many more models. Okay, which are inside the machine learning techniques. That is the next step of this course. Okay, so we have another course called machine learning using R. Same. Now, if you're comfortable with this, like somebody is already comfortable with this part of the course, and he knows statistics a little bit, and he's a little bit comfortable about R, then that's a course for him to start with. Also, somebody who has taken this course, you can go ahead and learn this one. That will make somebody even more expert. Or from, I would say, uh, let me clear this. Don't worry about this, whatever I'm writing. From a business analytics, let's say a business analytics guy, analytics guy to a data scientist, okay, to a true data scientist, the only extra part that you need to know is machine learning. Machine learning. Okay. If you add this to, then you are in the right track to become a data scientist. If you're not adding, if you're slowly adding, like you can start with this course. This will make you a business analyst. They also do analytical work, right? But data scientist is like, those are the guy who can actually look at the data. They can create problems out of it. They can actually create a problem statement. They can solve. They can tell you what exactly should be achieving from this data. What can I can give benefit to the business looking at the data. Okay, so that is where the machine learning will come into picture. Okay, so just wanted to give an idea about two things, two parts of the course. One is business analytics using R, one another thing is machine learning using R. Okay, so keeping that in memory, if I said what is the difference between data analytics and statistics, statistical analysis, it's very simple. Statistical analysis is more about statistics, right? More about understanding the data. It's more about doing descriptive analytics. Okay, like maybe you'll be able to do some hypothesis testing. There are some hypothesis testing. You may say that, okay, for example, one hypothesis testing is, let's say there are, let me change the color. Let's say there are two classes, class 1 in class 6. Okay, let's say in class 6 there are two sections, section A and section B. Now in section A, out of 100 students, 60 passed. Okay, out of 100 students, 60 were passed. In section B, out of 80 students, okay, now it's a 60, if it is 80, 48, let's say 51 passed. Okay, let's say 51 passed. Now I know that 51 divided, if common mean, everybody can tell me that 51 by 80 is definitely greater than 60 by 80, right? So the pass ratio, 60 by 100, sorry. So you can say that the pass ratio section B is higher, but there are statistical analysis to it. Okay, that's the thing. So what you are saying is, okay, so this is the case. Okay, now what I'm going to infer is, okay, in section B, let's say I'm talking about math marks. Okay, I'm just talking about math marks. So what I'm saying is, whoever teaches math in section A, the teacher in section A and the teacher in section B. So can I conclude the teacher in section B is good and the teacher in section A is not good compared to B, because B in section B the pass ratio is higher than section A? Can I conclude that? You cannot, because it might be just because the students are less. Okay, the students are less here. If I can say that, okay, if you're gonna add 20 more students to this section B and the 20 more students are dumb, let's say, let's not use dumb, but let's say they are dumb, then it may happen that even after this section strength becomes 100, the pass ratio may become 51 also, right? And that is 51% compared to 60%. In that case, teacher A will seems like being doing good compared to the teacher B, right? So it's all about data. So there are hypothesis testing that can tell you whether this ratio change, because this is around 48, so this is 60 and this is around 64%. Okay, this is around 64%, whereas this is 60%. Okay, There are statistical tests we can tell you whether this is significant or not. This a significant difference or not? 64, I know 64% is greater than 60%, but in section section B there are 80 students, in section B there are 100 students. So there is a imbalance between how many students were there in each of the section. Now, can I say, looking at those facts, can I say 64 is greater than 60 or not? Can I significantly say that 64 is greater than 60 or not? So to do all this test, right, we actually conduct some hypothesis testing. Okay. So that is also a part of statistical analysis that we're going to cover in the class. Okay. So this is all about statistical analysis. Now, what is data analytics? I mean, if you ask me, I'm not gonna separate data analytics from statistical analysis because data analytics are generated from statistical analysis. They are no different. But apart from statistical analysis, they also use data mining techniques. Okay, they also use data mining techniques, or you can say machine learning techniques. Okay, that makes data analytics a little more richer than knowing only statistical analysis, right? So as I said, I'm gonna plus along with the statistical analysis, we're gonna learn regression, logistic regression, right? How to fit logistic regression. Those are the part of data mining techniques. Originally, although it has been generated from statistics, the underlying core things are statistics, but those are data mining models. So that is we're gonna learn, right? So that makes you transition from a statistician to a data analytical guy. Okay, so that is the core difference between data analytics and statistical analysis. Guys, are you clear about that? Can somebody ping me? Are you clear about this? Doubt about machine learning? Okay, I have a question. Doubt about machine learning. I heard about bit, Bitcoin and Litecoin. Is it related to it? Uh, Anand, can you explain your question a little more? Can you go on unmute and explain me your question so that we can clarify? Hello, Anand, are you there? Anand, I cannot hear you.
Hello.
Hey Anand, yeah. Can you
Yeah.
explain me your question, please?
Yeah, I have heard about this Bitcoin and Litecoin mining. Somewhat, some few of my
Okay,
friends were discussing about it. Was like just in joke, but they were telling
okay,
that something related to data mining and all those things, which is
okay.
going. So, is it related to machine? They were telling that some hardwares are used and something related to
No,
computers.
no, no. In machine learning, there is no concept of hardware or anything. It's just pure algorithms. But let me take that as a question for me, okay? I have not
Yeah.
heard about that job, Bitcoin or
No,
Litecoin, but
it's
I'm
not a
gonna.
it's not a job. It's like they are creating their own currency and they are utilizing it like
Okay,
ATX and all. They are using it like so. It is illegal in many of the countries, even in India. So
okay,
is it related to these things? I was
okay.
just doubtful
I
about it.
am, frankly speaking, I'm not aware of it, but I'm gonna take that as a question to me. I'll
Yeah,
definitely answer, try to answer this in the next class, okay?
yeah.
I'm taking that as a question to me.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So, cool. Good question. So now we learn about what is exactly data analytics and how it is different from statistical analysis. And in the process, you also learn what you're going to learn in this course, and right, and what is the next stage of this course. Also, if you want to learn more, uh, right. So I'm just going to clear this and let's proceed. Okay. So what are the key like when we say data in business analytics, what do we mean by data? So data means there can be some figures, right? Some numbers, some sales figures, some employee number of employees. All those things are data, right? Even data can be something like f- in a data science area, data can be just a feedback. What do you feel about the shoe that you are wearing from Nike? What do you feel about? You may write 4 or 5 sentences. That is also data, right? So anything that comes in a digital format that is beneficial for the company is data. Okay, that's very simple about it. Yes, can you guys hear me? Can somebody just ping? Can you guys hear me clearly? Yeah. Okay. Now, database. I know many of you guys know this, but if somebody doesn't know this, there is a way to actually store all this data. And one way, there are many ways. There might be ways to store the data in the flat file and all, but generally flat files are not the right thing to store. So generally, what company does is, or every company do is, they store their data into some tabular format. Okay, tabular format, and we call that as a database. Inside database, there will be a lot of tables. There will be storing. Each table will represent one particular area from where the data has come. So there will be story behind what the data is all about, right? So there will be tables. So and a lot of tables will be one. Let's say in a folder you will have lots of files, right? So assume each of the file is a table and the folder is a database. Okay. So basically the company is gonna store everything in a database format. Even if you have big data, right? Even if you have big data has its own Hive format. For your knowledge, big data has its own Hive format. So where it can store the data, which will looks like it is in a tabular format. So Hive is a database for Hadoop. That's a big data that we call, right? Hadoop. So similarly, we'll have um, Oracle, we'll have MySQL, lots of database where we can store data. Now, when we say information, okay, when we're gonna use this word information, information is something informative, right? It's not data. It is some information that we're getting from the data. And when I'm gonna use this word information in the course, it will be only after you analyze the data. Once you have the raw data and you analyze the raw data, if you are getting some knowledge out of it, that I'm gonna call as information during the course. Okay, so data, database, information are different terminologies around data that you're gonna hear in the course. Okay, now when I say model, we have already discussed, right? A model using which, what did I give you? I told you, give me a model which can uh, predict my sales by looking at number of different products being sold, number of new product launch, number of employees in the company, right? So that is a model. A model that has some idea, something, some algorithm inside it, right? There will be some idea inside it which can predict something, okay, which can give you some input. Basically, anything is a model, right? So if you have input data, let's say this is a model M, and this is your output. And if I have given you like number of products, number of new launch, hello, guys, can you hear me? Sorry, I was disconnected for some time. Can you see my screen? Can somebody respond? Okay, cool. Sorry for that. Something happened. Okay, so we're talking about models, right? So model is like you have some input and design a model which can take those input and do something, give me some output, right? So that's basically a model, right? Now, and in the model, you can use some statistics, you can use some mathematical formula, right? Anything, or you can use some Excel calculation also. Even if you do Excel report which can do that, it is also a model. Now, the thing is, okay, when I say model, now what is a decision model? Basically, if you just do a modeling, right? If you're gonna just do a modeling and it will just gonna do some forecasting of your sales in the future or something, that's not gonna help business, because business is always doing that. Business is already doing something using forecasting, right? Even the experts can tell you what will be the forecast in the future. But as an analytical guy, if you can use a prescriptive analytics, the example that I gave, and if you can give them some key parameter to change, like you change the number of new launch in the coming quarter, that's gonna increase your sales volume. If that kind of input you can give, then the business can take that input and they can really go and implement it, right? And they can increase their sales in the future, in the next quarter. So so increase their number of launch in the new quarter to increase the sales, or then meets their target. So that's, you're helping them to take some decision, right? So decision in increasing the number of new launches, instead of waiting for the future. Let's launch it in the new quarter so that we can at least make our target. We can at least meet our target. So that is because your model is helping in making that bold step or decision. This is called a decision model, right? So the business analytics where you're going to use descriptive, predictive, as well as prescriptive analytics is called decision model. That will be called decision model. Okay. And when we say uncontrol, if you see here, there are some, okay, let's, when I was talking about data, the data, they have been dividing data into controllable variables and decision variables. These are very simple, guys. These are nothing. Let's not get scared about what are this. This is, when I say uncontrollable, is numerical data. Numerical data. Like numbers, right? Numbers can be, let's say, number of products sold. Number of product sold is a numerical data, right? It can be represented in number 23, 1300, something, 1300, something numbers. So, and the numbers will generally will not have control. It can be anything. I mean, as an input, it can happen that the numerical value, even if you are seeing a number ranging from 0 to 30, let's say there is an example, let's take the example of age. Okay, let's say the age of the customer, let's say the age of the customer, whatever you are seeing the data, past data, is always lying between 0 to 30. Does that mean that you will never get a new data set where the age will be more than 30? Does that mean it will never be more than 30? No, it can be more than 30 also. So your model should be capable enough of handling this. So that is where the age is uncontrollable, right? And it can only be uncontrollable if it is numerical data, right? Whereas decision variable or controllable data is something like a categorical data. Categorical data in the sense can be yes, no, right? Or can be, let's for example, uh, whether rain will happen tomorrow or not. Let's say there is a prediction, rain will happen or tomorrow or not, yes or no. This categorical kind of data, right? It can be binary data having only two states, or it can be more than that. So what is the sentiment of my customer? Let's say, yeah, you have written some feedback. Let's say you have written some feedback about your shoe, the new shoe that you have purchased and using. And out of that, if somebody asks me, tell me what is the sentiment, I can say, okay, he's happy, he's positive. So sentiment is positive. Sentiment is negative. That means bad sentiment. He's not feeling good about the shoe. It can be neutral also. Somebody may give just neutral comments, right? So it can be, so the number of possible values can be three types. So these are all called decision variables, right? Where it is controlled because it cannot be more than any of the three. Any feedback sentiment can be positive, negative, or neutral, right? So that is why we call it's a control variable. Okay, and the model output, there are two things. When we say model outputs means, okay, if you say if your number of new launch is increased, your sales is also increased, right? So that is like the behavioral measures, like what is the behavior, like whether they are directly proportional, whether new launch increases, sales increases, or new launch increases, sales decreases, let's say, for example, another example, then that's a behavioral measure, right? What is the behavior relationship between input and outputs? That is a model output. That's the first thing that model gives. Second thing is how strongly they are related, right? When I say if you increase from 3 to 5 new launch, you can increase your target sales target from 24 millions to 28 millions. That is giving me how much strength new launch has to drive the sales, right? So that's a performance measure that is also a key indicator of model output. Okay, so there's the two factors based on which we measure whether the model is good or not. Okay. Okay, so what's next? So there are steps in problem solving. Basically, I mean, when we say problem solving, there will be many way. I mean, many sites will give you a different way of problem solving. So basically, what we say is there are six stages of problem solving. First is when the data is given. Okay, first thing is recognize the problem. Okay, what is the problem? um, uh, it may happen that the company may not be knowing. That might be a company which may just give you data. Okay, you are an analyst, can you tell, you are an analytical guy, can you tell me I have a lot of data, can you go ahead and look, and can you tell me what should I do with the data? Can you give me some model or something, some idea where I can utilize it and increase my business? Okay, because as a business guy, his only motive is to make money, right? Make more money, more and more money. That is why he has just given you the data. So first thing is looking at the data, you need to recognize what is the problem. Is there any issue with the company? Looking at the data, is there an issue with the company? That's that is all about recognizing the problem. Second thing is defining the problem. Like, let's take an example. Okay, I'll not take the name. One of my friend was recruited by a company who does online hotel booking. Okay, there is an online hotel booking portal. You can use it using a tablet, you can use using mobile phone, you can use using your desktop also. But this company was not making, they were doing good profits, but they were not against their competitors. Okay, they are just doing it good for their own, but they were not in the competition at all. So what they do is they create a online hotel booking portal. Okay, and they create is it can you hear me guys? No, I think hello. Can you guys hear me now? Sorry, my there's some issue in my inverter and something happened. Got disconnected altogether. Sorry for that. Okay, so let's continue and finish it soon. So I was just talking about right. Uh, what are the key steps? I'm gonna give you a story, and you'll can interpret why these steps are important. Okay, so I'm not gonna reveal the name of the student. I mean the name of my friend or the company, but this guy was actually recruited by one of online hotel booking portal, and you can go ahead and book your hotel uh, using your mobile phone, right? If you have iPhone, you have anything, or you can using a tablet or you can using a desktop, right? So this company was doing okay, but they were not against the competitor. Okay, so this guy, when they recruit him, they paid him heavy salary. And hello, Jitendra, can you hear me? Can everybody else hear me except Jitendra? Am I audible? Can you guys unmute yourself and tell me, am I audible? Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, okay, thanks. So, yeah, so this guy was paid hefty salary, and only thing he has to do is he have to go and look at the data and try to give some insight where the business gonna get benefit and start making more money. Okay, so what this guy does is he looked at the data for 3 months, 3 continuous months. He was looking at the data, and he found that the company is the focus is it needs to create okay the very fact everybody knows is it needs to create more revenue, right? But the thing it got is it was there were a lot of people who were pitching in, who were logging into their portal, looking at hotels, but they were not booking the hotels. They were not converting their search into business for the company. They are not booking the hotel ultimately. A lot of them were getting out of that booking. Okay, so thing is they need to convert more opportunities into sales. Like more customers should start booking their hotel if they are visiting their sites for some intention. So increase to creates more from opportunities to business, right? So that was the problem. And the defining the problem, what we got is most of the people. So what you can define as a problem is the suggestion that we are giving to each of the candidate. Each of the customers who are coming to the portal, we are not showing uh, recommendation according to their shoot. I mean, whatever they can afford, because we are just showing all the hotels based on their previous rating or just based on their price, whether they are cheap to whether they are low to highest cost, right? And that may not be appealing to everybody, right? I'm if I can afford more, I would like to see a hotel which is little pricier but good in review, right? So they could not that recommendation was not working. And the thing is the recommendation has to be correct. That's what the problem that is being given. Now the structure of the problem while analyzing the data, what we found is most of the students, okay, or most of the customers who were using iPhone or iPad, okay, most of the customer who were using iPhone or iPad and has booked in the past through the portal have booked in the past has on a average uh, went for $10 more costly hotels. Okay, you're getting my point. Whoever is using iPhone or iPad are going for higher cost hotels. Approximately on an average, every quarter, if you go and look at the average extra cost per hotel by iPhone customers are $10 more than other phones customers. That's the information I got. Okay, that's from uh, by structuring the data. What I did is I looked at the problem. I tried to structure the problem. I tried to look at, okay, let's look at different brands. Let's look at Android for customers, Android phone customers behavior. Let's look at iPhone customers behavior. Let's try to see if that makes sense or not, right? And I did that, and what I analyze is I got like iPhone customers are more are can spend more on the hotel compared to Android. I'm not trying to make any comment on this, but that's a fact that they got, and it's a real case scenario that I'm telling you guys. Okay, so that is, and through the last 2 to 3 years, right? Every month, every quarter, same thing happened. Okay, and the result that were given to the business were actually very revealing, and it exposed all the data to them, and they were happy to take a decision based on them, based on that. So that's a level 5 that we're talking about. So at the end, how it was implemented, what they do is whoever are iPhone customers, right? They showed them little bit costlier hotels to them, but based on the rating. Whereas for other phone customers, right, they were more emphasized on low to high rates, right? Whereas for iPhone customer, they tend to show like $10 or $20 more costlier hotel, but the review is very good, the facilities are good, and in when they implemented that, right, the whole sales boomed. Okay, that's what that is why I try to relate a story, and from a story I am trying to like map each and every part of the story to these 6 steps. Okay, but essentially this is not the mandatory 6 steps. People says there are 8 steps, there are 5 steps, there are 7 steps, but on an average this is the hierarchy in which you should go and solve a problem. Okay, in any project that you will be deliver within this course, or maybe during your future in your career. Okay, so this is the whole same thing. What is recognizing problem, what is defining a problem, what is structuring a problem, what is analyzing a problem, interpreting and making a decision. That's my business guy. And how do you implement it in the real world? Okay, now as we're saying that we're going to use R, why do we going to use R? This is a real fact. Most of the company, you can see Facebook, Google, Twitter, right? You can see Google, Twitter, you can see New York Times. Even if you look John Deere, it's a company which makes machinery for agriculture and mostly agriculture machines. Okay, even they are using R to forecast crop yields, and based on the crop yields they can optimize their tractors manufacturing process. So even those, I mean, even the manufacturing companies for tractors are also using R to do some forecasting. So my our idea to convey, I mean, the key thing that we're going to convey you is in every aspect, so in every domain, in every companies, whoever has data, they are somehow they tend to use R, because R is open source. R is easy to be used by any of guy who just know a little bit of statistics, right? They are not even good at coding, they can start coding in R. That's a very easy language that you can adopt. Okay, and the key roles I explained you, right? So you need to look at the data, you need to do a deep dive into the data, you need to understand the business, and based on that you need to come out like what should be the real case project that you can work and make more profit to the business, right? So what does the business demand, right? Based on that you need to respond and design an analytical project for them. And basically you will be bridging the gap between a delivery manager or a department manager and a data owner, because the data will be owned by somebody else, and the on the team who will be working, right? A department manager, or you can say even a delivery manager. They are two things apart, right? But you as a data scientist can bridge the gap between them, okay, by understanding both aspects of deployment and the data behavior. Okay, so you also you need to do a lot of research. It's not that you just know anything and you're gonna start implementing and leave it on your own for next 10 to 20 years. You have to be update. You have to be make yourself update every time. You have to look into the new trends. What are the new algorithms being designed? What are the new trends? Which areas are started adopting data science into their companies, and also you have to make yourself update. Even if your company is going to buy something from some third party, right? You should be the guy who should be recommending what to buy, what not to buy in the analytics space. Okay, what can be developed inside the company? What is the best thing to buy outside? And just to um, space save time, right? So that you should be a person who should be in a position to decide all this. Okay, and data scientists are three things, right? Hacking skill. When we say hacking skills, it means soft skills. Okay, you should be knowing soft skills. You should be knowing domain knowledge. When I say domain knowledge, it's a substantive expertise is nothing but domain knowledge, right? So you need to have the domain knowledge in whichever area you want to work, whichever like data area you want to work. You need to have a little bit of soft skill. You need to also need maths and statistics and machine learning, right? So programming and maths become machine learning. So okay, when I say algorithm, it's not, it's just statistics, maths and programming skills become a machine learning algorithm. So all this taking into account, this becomes data science. Okay, and data science is, if you look at, okay, this may not give you a true picture, but why I would say is most of the people, most of the employees or student or grads you see across are graduates, right? Most of them will be graduates. Less of them will be master, have a master degree, and less of even little lesser of them will be some college students, and lesser than that will be PhDs, right? And even lesser for other technical schools. And this may be little biased. This may be little biased because of the population is high. Okay, because the population of the degree colleges are high, so 37% data scientists might belong to that zone. But idea is uh, anybody can become a data scientist. Okay, anybody can become a data scientist who has a graduation or post graduation. Okay, uh, but you need to have this knowledge. You need to have a little bit of soft skill. You need to have math statistics knowledge. You have to have domain understanding. You have to have the Jill, or you have to have the patience of understanding the domain. Okay, that will become your make you a data scientist. Okay, and this is a very popular word. Data itself is useless unless you make some sense out of it. Okay, and okay, for the next class, before I stop, for the next class, this is the plan that we are making. So in the next class, we will begin with R. But to begin with R, But to begin with R, we're gonna tell you how to, what are the tools that you need to run R. So R Studio will make you comfortable about R Studio. How does it look like? What are the different screens of R Studios? Then we'll set you how to start working on R. We'll give you a little bit of understanding of what are the important packages in R. How do you use it? Some graphic packages. And there is one more important thing is Swill. Okay, when I say that this particular thing, this is a package which can actually you can start self-learning R by using this package, and I'll give you a demo how to do that. Okay, so this is for the next class we're gonna start learning about R. We're gonna install R. We'll look into it, what packages you should install, which version of R you should install, and how you should start getting hands-on. Okay, so the next part, next class will be all about starting R programming. I know today was little disturbing because sometime I was away, but if you have any questions, please let me know. And we'll make sure that from tomorrow we don't have any issues like this. Guys, I'm doing unmute all or I'm mute all, but if somebody has any question, please tell me. Please unmute yourself and ask me. about the course or about anything that we covered today?
Hello.
Yes, Anand.
Yeah, I have a, after a long time, I sat for this much of time, and it was worthy today's class. And
Thank you.
and I wish that I would know more technicality about this R and
Yes,
all these things.
yes,
And one more doubt which I am raising is like
yeah.
the this you told that you are using the data from Google and all those things. So while using this data, there is something
Mhm.
called hello.
Yes, yes. Please tell me. I can
Yeah.
hear you.
While hello.
Yes, yes. Please tell me. Please continue. I can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. While using this data from you may be using from Facebook or you may be using from Google. So is there any like anybody can use this data, or something called TRIA is also there now, which we are, you know we cannot use others data until and unless we are not
Yes,
having.
yes, yes, yes. See, okay, this is a small story. Like when you're gonna use the data outside, right?
Hmm.
When if it is publicly available, okay. First thing
Okay.
is, if it is publicly available, you may see most of them will be masked. Okay.
Okay.
You may
Okay.
understand what the attribute meaning is, but looking at the data value, you may not able to understand because they will be encoded or it can say masked. Okay.
Okay.
That kind of
Okay.
data may come across into
Okay.
your world if you are going for some open source data. If there is
Okay.
some data which is sensitive, but company
Okay.
can still give you can expose it, but thing is you need to go and write a mail to them. Okay.
Okay.
Probably you need to say that you are just doing you need to make them believe that you are working it for research purpose or something. Okay. You are not using it for in corporate world, so you're just using for own learning. Then there are websites you can which can lend you, I mean, like which can give you data. That is
Okay.
another possibility. There are another way of doing it is also there are something called Kaggle. If you are aware of Kaggle, Kaggle.com, you can go to the Kaggle.com and there are companies who are actually who publish the data and they give their business problem. Okay, so you can
Okay.
go
Kegel.
and look at that Kaggle, Kaggle, Kaggle. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so you can go and look at that training data set, test data set. What do they want? Everything. Okay, so
Okay.
the outcome of it, if you win the race, okay, if you win the race, you can get some money from them or you can even get a job from them. There is two ways they give you offer: money or job. I mean, not
Okay.
both, you cannot choose. They themselves decide whether to give money to the winners or they wanted to give jobs to the winners. Okay,
For
they
what?
are
For what? For what purpose?
for solving a problem.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Like if you solve a Walmart problem, right? You can get a job. You can end up with getting a job offer from them. There are websites like that also. Kaggle.com. Do go and explore it. So then I
After,
think
after studying, I am going to explore.
sure, sure.
Let me learn
But
first.
do explore also. There is no problem in exploring. No harm in exploring those things. It will create more interest in you to learn more, right? Okay. So
Thanks.
did I answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else wanted to ask something? Wanted to know something? What we're going to learn? You have any doubts? Yes, Kaggle.com. Yeah. Okay, then I'll end the
Uh,
session here. Yes, yes.
yeah, I have one question. Is there like anything else that we can refer to, or this PowerPoint will be available for us
PowerPoint
to
will be
listen
available
to?
for us. Okay, because this is just an introductory session, right? The starting session.
Okay.
The PowerPoint will be available. But as and when we'll move forward, right, you will
Mm.
be getting. Okay, let me just hold on. Show you the contact. Okay, you can you'll be getting assignments. Okay, you'll be getting some. If I'm using some code, okay, if I'm using some R code or R script, you'll be getting
Okay.
all those R script separately as well from me. As and when you require, I can also provide you some extra support. Like I can give you some links to read. That is also a part of this course. Okay, and there will be
Okay.
also a support team which are who are there for you every time. Okay, if you have some some doubts. Let's say I'm not able to clear some doubt for you, okay? Because let's say there are a lot of
Okay.
questions. I could not clear some doubts. So what you can do is you can send some doubts to the support team and keep me in CC. Okay, I'll share my email address later. You can keep me in
Yeah.
CC and send it to support. So if even if I cannot answer that, the support team will make sure that the query to your the answer to your query is answered within the specific time.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
that
Yeah.
support is also provided. Apart from that, if you want extra reading materials, don't worry, that will be provided. Um,
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
welcome. Anybody else? Okay, so I take that